Oh.
Hi guys, it's Alex here, the girl with the woohoo tattoo. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my first ever speed build video. Yay! Now I am terrible at building, so I decided to keep it simple, and today I bring you my Australian Outback Shack build. So why did I do this build? Lately I've been seeing a lot of domination by the Australian simmers. On YouTube, on Twitter, on all sorts of Sims community platforms. We're taking over, guys. You better watch out. But I feel like there's just not enough Australian influence in The Sims, obviously because it is an American game and they obviously have to make it so that every single country can enjoy it. But who's to say that we can't make our own custom content and make it uniquely Australian? So I built this house so that I could make some very daggy Australian custom content. I've made some shirts, I made some terrible clutter, and you'll see at the end of the video what else I've included. So I wanted to make a uniquely Australian house. This style of house dates back to the colonial or Federation days. We're talking like 1800s when the gold rush was in and there were bush rangers and everybody who lived in the country had some sort of farm, whether it be cattle or sheep or, you know, anything that farmers do. I'm not a farmer, I'm not too sure. However, you do see these a lot when you drive through the Outback. So if you are on your way to the Outback, there will probably be nothing. You won't see anything. It'll be completely flat, like flatter than the flattest flat. You can't see a horizon. It is flat. I can't explain to you how flat Australia is. So you can look in one direction and there will be just nothing. And then you'll look in the other direction and then there'll just be nothing. And then out of nowhere, an emu comes running across the road and you're like, "Wah!" That is true Australia to me, and I love my country. I love exploring Australia as much as I love exploring the world. So I wanted to bring you a little piece of my history. This house, I actually decided to base it around my grandparents' old house. So my grandparents lived in country Victoria in a place called Bendigo, and Bendigo was founded when the gold rush era took off. So we're talking like 1870, 1890 in Australia. A lot of people came to Bendigo and central Victoria for the gold. And everybody who moved there, they built these houses. So of course I had to include a pool, because in central Victoria there's no beaches, so you either have to swim in the creek or you have your pool in the backyard. And I wanted to make it as Australian as possible, so I wanted it to look like a bit of a billabong. If you don't know what billabong is, you should definitely Google it. Anyway, so I built this house based on my grandparents' block. They had a massive estate, and on that estate they had a massive garden, they had 3 properties, a huge driveway, and there was just heaps of room for us as kids to run around. And I only went there probably almost every summer, so every Christmas, that kind of thing, to see my family. And it just reminds me of being a kid and running a complete muck. So the 3 buildings they had was an old barn that was made of stone. So that was my pa's workshop and his shed. And then at the back of the house was my Uncle Jim's house, which was an old cottage, and we're talking like more Victorian style than what I'm building here. But it was just so quaint and a little bit dilapidated, but I loved it, and it's still there today. It hasn't been knocked down yet. Once the family grew, then my pa had to build another house. So he built a house, which is what we still call our grandparents' house today. And I have so many memories there. We used to go run amok up in the bush, and we'd come back, if it was raining or something like that, usually the next day, you'd actually come back and you'd find gold. Like, I'm talking nuggets of gold, not huge nuggets, but, you know, big enough for, as a kid, you're like, wow, this is really special. That kind of Australia really has a close place to my heart, and I really wanted to put that in this video. So with the furnishings and stuff, I went a little bit bogan. Alright, if you guys don't know what the word bogan is, you should Google it because it's hilarious. But I wanted to make it sort of ochre Australia. So we're talking, there's some holes in the walls because this house is so old and they just haven't maintained it. There are weeds, there are spider webs. And obviously we've got a garden out the back so we can grow our own veggies and that kind of stuff. And of course, if you didn't already see, I have put the Hills Hoist in there. A rotary clothesline, which was actually invented in 1945 here in Adelaide, where I'm from. So that was obviously something I needed to include. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now and leave you with some Australian classics while I finish the rest of this build. Thanks so much for watching!
I've been around the world a couple of times and maybe more. Seen the sights, I've had delights on every foreign shore. But when my mates all ask me the place that I adore, I tell them right away. What do we tell them? Give me a home among the gum trees with lots of plum trees. A sheep, a two, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back, veranda out the front, and an old rocking chair. You can see me in the kitchen, cooking up a roast, or Vegemite on toast, just you and me, a cup of tea. And later on we'll settle down and go out on the porch and watch the possums play. There's a Safeways up the corner and a Woolies down the street, and a brand new place they've opened up where they regulate the heat. But I trade them all tomorrow for a little bush retreat with a kookaburras called. Give me a home among the gum trees with lots of plum trees. A sheep, a two, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back, veranda out the front, and an old rocking chair.
here's my finished product, my Outback Shack house. So I'll walk you through this one so I can show you everything. We've got the Australian flag on the front. We've got the Hills Hoist in the back. We've got the horseshoes, or we like to call quoits in Australia. We've got the view of the living room. We've got the kitchen with the BB fridge. And as much as I wanted to build a dunny, I had to go with a traditional toilet, but it's cute. It reminds me of my nana's house. Another view of the living room, and we've got the sporting memorabilia on the wall, including an AFL Guernsey, which is a must-have in a Bogan household. And we've got the master bedroom. Let's take that guitar out on the patio, throw some snags on, have a couple of beers, and how's the serenity? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next time, and have a good one.